Be one hell of a contest tonight. Zach Wells, I beg your pardon, for Plymouth, who's going to be taking the tip. There's probably going to be some nerves over on that Worcester bench tonight, you'd think.
Well, there is. Hopefully it'll be good nerves, exciting nerves for them, but we'll see. Wolves are going to be, it's going to be really, really tough for Wolves height-wise. You can see straight away that that two big men are going to come tough. It's going to be hard. If I was coaching Plymouth, I'd just say get the ball inside.
Well, they certainly get the ball inside there to Wells, rolls it over the top, opens the account for the Plymouth Raiders. Eric Eves, the new man, guarding George Beamon, who's nursing a sternum niggle to his ankle. So he gets his first game and gets a start in the BBL to start his spell in the league. Beamon loses the ball, Sayers picks it up. Kick it out to Neighbour, it's wide open. Opts to go to Bowman, who goes in off the glass. 4-point game. It won't be lost on Worcester. They're going to want to establish something early in this game if they can. Likewise, Plymouth coming here, slightly depleted. They get it inside to Ives. Well, it was blocked by Neighbour, but somehow it found its way in, and they all count.
Yeah. Take it.
Sayers, Wells. Kick it out to Louis Sayers, jacks up the three, rims out. Trayvon Palmer just managing to hang on to it. It's Palmer now. Switches on the afterburners, kicks it out to Brandon Parrish. He jacks up the three. No good. Ives can't collect that rebound. So here come Plymouth. Once again, Wells using his size, can't finish. Ball is out of bounds off the back of his arm. Looking for the looking for the foul for the referee. And technical warning for Coach Gavin Love. Unhappy with that call. Both looking for the foul. Referees are all over it, of course. And slight delayed start here at the Worcester Arena. For those of you who are waiting for this game, the referees caught up on their journey in. Navahas now, he puts up the three. This time, no good. Palmer, great ball from him, kicks it out. Brandon Parrish jacks up another one. Again, there's a lid on the bucket. Ball is loose. And the referee blows the whistle.
And this is where Wolves are going to have to be smart with their shooting. Navahas is the only true big, but fair play to the rest of the Wolves. They went hunting for that basketball, and that's what you kind of want. It's easy to take these, but this is the problem: is that you're going to take a low percentage shots. You've got to make sure your rebounders are there and around to pick up those bits and pieces. So fair play to Wolves. They're being active, and that's all you want them to be, and just work hard.
Well, very early in the game, long way to go. 7:35 to play in the first quarter, and it's Neighbour who hooks it over the top of Dominic Ives. Great score, beautiful finish from Will Neighbour. 4-point game. Navahas at the top. Beamon steps back, jacks up the three. Oh, and they needed that. Worcester find those 3 points through George Beamon. Displaying that spirit to fight through that injury to come back into this game tonight. He's taking one for the team, as they say. Sayers dances inside off the glass for Plymouth. 3-point game. Plymouth Raiders 8, Worcester Wolves 5-6. 51 to play in the first quarter of the ball game. George Beamon now. Find a way inside. Great dish inside to Navahas. Drops it in off the window. Wolves pull it back to a 1-point game. And you sense some of these starters tonight are going to be playing some pretty big minutes for the Worcester Wolves. So if they can establish some kind of lead, it will reduce the rotational migraine for Bowman. Steps back, long range two. Comes off the ironwork. Dominic Ives strips the ball away, hands it off to George Beamon. Beamon, Ives, he jacks up the triple. This time, no good. Wells comes down with it. Beamon again. It's dispossessed by George Beamon. It's 3-on-2 now. Beamon is going to go all the way inside, off the glass. George Beamon, what a move from George Beamon. Sliced his way, opened up the defence. He claimed the lane that wasn't there, and he found his way into the paint. Eves at the other end now for the Plymouth Raiders. Louis Sayers. Neighbour, he jacks up the three. Sinks it from distance. 2-point game. So both teams displaying some ambition from behind the arc tonight. Dish it into Wise, back out to Beamon, jacks up the three! George Beamon! I ain't going anywhere, he says, and have a little puff on that. 1-point game. Eves. Sayers dance around the perimeter. Neighbour at the top. Pops it inside to Zach Wells. Simplest of finishes for him off the glass. 1-point game. George Beamon, he's going to dance his way around Louis Sayers. Parrish jacks up that two from the free throw line, misses everything, so ball is out of bounds. Plymouth ball from the end line.
Yeah, I think a little bit of nerves has just settled with Wolves. The only concern for me is that Navas is playing behind his man too much. He just needs to get round him a little bit and make it a more difficult pass. The last one was just a little bit too easy. Just like that, Ives was sort of playing three quarters round the guy. Although he's got the height on him, when you're playing in front, and there's pressure on the ball. It's harder for the pass to go in, and you don't want an easy pass into a big man. You want to make the guards work for it.
Eves gets it in over the top. Neighbour.
Again, play behind him, let him have the ball. That's what the big men want you to do, because it's easy for them.
So it's a 3-point game, 4:07 to play in the first quarter of this ball game. Did well to find Trayvon Palmer out of that double team, but ball is out of bounds.
And that's the combi guard mistake. Where George is a combi guard, and you can relieve the point guard at times, but don't go into that area. That's the danger area sort of thing. That's where teams want you to play.
Oh, what a pass inside the Parrish, who flushes it down. No one in there to interrupt the passing lane. Louis Sayers now at the top for Plymouth. Sayers, he dances around, goes to feed it inside, comes off the foot of Parrish. And it'll be a sideline ball, Plymouth Raiders. Viaro checked in for Eric Eves for Plymouth. Bowman kick it out to Neighbour. He dances his way inside. Too much on it that time. It's looking set for a great finish. Navas picks it up. Beamon now gets us into the front court. Trayvon Palmer. Stop and go. Back out to Brandon Parrish. Palmer's got himself open, and that will be an offensive foul. Parrish really dropping his shoulder as he went in. So, Plymouth Raiders ball. That's the first foul registered for the Worcester Wolves in this quarter. Dominic Ives takes a breather, and George Ems checks in for the Worcester Wolves.
Yeah. We haven't seen George for a while. With his studies, he's had to make a sort of decision about how much commitment he can make, but he's back. Again, he's been with the university long enough to know all of the playbook sort of thing. Doing well for the second team as well.
Marvelainen, who has checked in for Neighbour for the Plymouth Raiders. Apologies, we missed that one in the excitement. Marvelainen scoring for fun. Gavin Love really going big down low. Sayers jacks up the three from the corner and he nails it. So it's a 4-point game. Worcester severely depleted, but Paul James shuffling the cards. Oh, Brandon Parrish, what a great block from Uviaro. So end line ball, Worcester Wolves. The George Ems on the inbounds ball, 4-point game. Get it inside of Palmer. He's obviously going to George Beamon out in the corner. Beamon jacks up the three. Probable shot, Jarvalainen plucks that ball off the ironmongery. Bowman now just charges his way inside. Can't finish, came off his hand. And that'll be a Raiders ball from the end line. 2:38 to play in the first quarter of this round 22 BBL Championship game. I'll remind you that Plymouth Raiders currently sitting 10th in the league, looking for those 2 points to just continue to claw their way up towards those playoff spots. Wells now, he's backing down on Navahas. That ball is batted away, and Ems can't hold on to it. Biaro was all over it. So Ems to inbound. George Beamon will take us into the front court. Louis Sayers is making himself as wide as a barn door. Whistler's gone, and a second call.
Yeah, I think Wolves thought they'd lost possession. Again, one of those little silly mistakes.
So James having a bit of a discussion with the referee. That is a Raiders ball. So turnover, Plymouth Raiders 18, Worcester Wolves 14, 2:18 to play in the first quarter of this ball game. Bowman, Jarvalainen, Louis Sayers. Biaro, long range two, jumping from him, misses everything.
Yeah,
drops it into the hands of Trayvon Palmer. Palmer, stop and go. He's going to cut inside and drive, kicks it out to George Beamon, jacks up the three. This time it doesn't go. Ems can't quite reach that rebound. Bit of a mismatch with Wells, but Biaro now for the Plymouth Raiders. Goes right, goes left, goes inside, off the glass, no good. Bat it back out to Louis Sayers. Get the 14 reset. Jarvalainen jacks up the three for Plymouth. Jacks up the three for Plymouth. 21 plays 14 with 1:36 to play.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough for Wolves. But it's still, it's almost. I know it's difficult, but they're almost like settling for the jump shot rather than trying to engage and get to the basket.
Trayvon Palmer rolls his way inside, looking for the foul again. Didn't come. Quite deep in the shot clock. And referee giving another warning. Warnings everywhere here. So Zach Wells checks out of the game and Will Naver checks back in again. Biaro now for Plymouth in the charge again into the front court. Biaro, James doing a great job to keep up with him. Good defence, forcing that turnover. Trayvon Palmer picks it up, ships it down to Brandon Parrish. Back out to Navahas, wide open for three. Alex Navahas pulls the trigger on the triple, and he hits the bullseye from the corner. The Worcester Wolves not going anywhere. Beautiful pass to Jarvalainen. Drops in the bucket for another two. 41 seconds on the game clock. To the end of the first quarter, Trayvon Palmer kicks it out to Ems in the corner, just rims out. Long range attempt, and that came off the foot of Bowman, so that is going to be the Wolves ball from the end line. Great work from George Ems to get himself open all the way down there.
Both ends of the court. Defensively, just kept his hands out, just kept on getting his body in the way, and just let the guy just dribble the ball up, sort of, and get out of control. And as I said, Paul won't say to you don't shoot. He will, if you're on court and you're open, take the shot within the offense.
Gets it into Brandon Parrish. Navahas out to Ems for three, and he sinks it from downtown. This one, make one. And it's suddenly, we're back to a 3-point game. Shot clock turned off. 10 seconds now on the shot clock. Game clock turned off, I should say. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Eddie Matthew, they kick it out into the corner. That three attempt doesn't go. Beamon comes up with it. Jacks up the long heave, but we are at the end of the first quarter of this BBL Championship game. That could be the difference in the game, who knows? One thing's for certain, I think it's the first quarter of basketball I've seen this season where nobody took a trip to the stripe.
But that's exactly it. It is that Wolves daren't foul in the paint, and they're taking a lot of outside shots, so they're not getting to the rim. They're not making Plymouth play that type of defence, which eventually may hurt them because they're not having to commit the fouls.
So Trayvon Palmer jacks it back out to Ems, who puts the three up, this time too long. Just comes down into the hand of George Beamon. Palmer kicks it out to Navahas. Head fake from him. Hands it off to George Ems once again. Steps back. Pass to Navahas. Navahas, Will Neighbour. That's a great matchup. That spin fade away from Navahas. This time doesn't go. Jarvalainen holds on to it. Eric Eves is checked back in for the Plymouth Raiders. Yaro, Neighbour, Eddie Matthew. Dancing around, Neighbour gets inside. That shot was a long way off. Jarvalainen strips it out of the hands of George Ems, but it's out of bounds, and that will be a Worcester ball. So, no points registered so far. We're a minute into the second quarter of this ball game. You can sense a nervousness in the crowd here tonight as well.
Yeah. Great pass
inside. What a feed for Palmer, who just finishes off the glass. It's a 1-point game, and you do, as I say, you do sense in the atmosphere here tonight, the whole crowd are kind of on the edge of their seats to see how this one is going to evolve. But you might hear them if Worcester do indeed take the lead in this game. Well, Neighbour now with Alex Navahas. 6 on the shot clock. It's good defence so far from Worcester. Neighbour can't finish, deep in the shot clock. Worcester come up with the ball. Beamon, Palmer, Brandon Parrish. He's got Ems open. Ems screaming for the ball. Beamon dances and weaves his way inside, and he draws the foul. So that's the first foul.
It's funny sometimes when you're under the pressure to play defense, knowing that you focus so much harder than when you know you don't have to do that, if that makes sense.
Well, that ball has gone out of bounds, tipped away. Brandon Parrish couldn't hang on to it, so that will be a Worcester ball.
Yeah, so when you know you haven't got a bench, it's almost like when you're on your 4th foul. You play at a different level of intensity defence because you daren't commit the foul, but you've still got to play that defence.
Well, Trayvon Palmer, it's a 1-point game. I think Paul James Epic would have taken that at this stage in the game. Long way to go. They get it back out to Ems. He jacks up another 3. Goodness me, George Ems. He's turned into a 3-point machine tonight, and we said these young players get a chance to step up and show what they can do, and opportunities are all about what you do with them. So now, 2-point game. It is a real chess game here at the Worcester Arena. Lubiaro, he goes to dance his way inside, bundles his way through that double team, but travel is the call, so no basket. And Plymouth Raiders, Lubiaro and Eddie Matthew take a breather. Louis Sayers and Bowman check back into the game. Trayvon Palmer on the inbounds to George Beamon. George Ems. Confident game from him so far tonight. Young player with a chance to shine on this big stage, and there are a few more on the bench. He's effective in that position. Jacks up another 3. This time almost goes. Great work from Beamon to drag that rebound down. He plucks it in, and all of a sudden Gavin Love is forced into a timeout.
Yeah.
At the moment, certainly edging those key stats in this game. Still, nobody's had a trip to the line so far, so there's an edginess about both of these teams tonight. Of course, let's not forget Plymouth really depleted 2 coming into this game, and
Wolves have gone with a little bit of zone.
So Louis Sayers, Will Neighbour. Wells drops down inside. Big physical presence in the post. Zach Wells finds those 2 off the glass with ease, it has to be said. He uses his body well, and Alex Navas has taken a knock in the contact there.
I think
great pass inside to George Beamon, who finishes once again off the glass, and he is going to go to the line to add the bonus.
I think Zach Wells has sharpened his elbows up a little bit tonight, and that's what Alex has taken and is moaning about. He's got one in the ribs.
He's not happy about something, but finally somebody finds their way to the charity stripe tonight, and it's the 3-point play for George Beamon. He's all string with that. 5-point game now. Worcester 30, Plymouth Raiders 25, 6:43 to play in the second quarter of this ball game. Wells. Dylan Costello is now checked in for the Plymouth Raiders. Nice dish to Wells. Unfortunately, can't finish with that one. Just too much on it. Bobbles out. It comes into the hands of Brandon Parrish. Trayvon Palmer now. Lane opens up in front of him. They kick it out to Ems. Nails another one. George Ems. What a night he's having for the Worcester Wolves tonight. Bowman. Neighbour. He's a long way downtown. Will Neighbour seeks the triple from distance. 3 valuable points for the Plymouth Raiders. Trayvon Palmer, no good. Ball's out of bounds, and that will be a Worcester ball from the end line. Neighbour very unhappy about that. That's Trayvon Palmer on the inbounds. It's a 5-point ball game. Long inbounds up to Brandon Parrish. Go to get it to Navas. Neighbour just gets a finger to it, tips it out. So sideline ball. It really is a chess game here tonight. Beamon, Palmer goes to cut his way inside. Ems is interrupted in that play. Costello strips it away. Nice dish to Bowman. Great finish. And timeout called. Worcester Wolves. Well, with 5:37 to play in this second quarter, and you look at that scoreboard with only 5 fouls registered across both of these teams, there's a strategic job to be done by these coaches really in the second half, because you then have the opportunity to ramp up that defence at both ends of the floor. Yeah, and that's probably or possibly what could be happening. Well, Sayers is muscling his way inside, doesn't go. Unsportsmanlike foul is called on Alex Navas. And, well, the crowd don't agree. Paul James definitely doesn't agree, and Alex Navas is checking his insurance policy, I think, as we speak. But so that is going to send Louis Sayers to the line to shoot 2, and Plymouth will retain control of the basketball. Sayers on string with the first. I'm not sure about it being unsportsmanlike. It was awkward. It was a trip, and obviously Sayers had to change. The ruling is that if you make a legitimate play for the ball. Now, did he? Probably not. But because it was awkward, it was a difficult call. Whichever way you called it, you kind of have an argument against it, if that makes sense. Yeah, you're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't, really, as a referee sometimes. Well, the call is the call, and here comes Costello. Kicks it out again. They get it back to Neighbour. He's found a dead eye from downtown tonight. Neighbour looking to muscle his way inside over the top. Again, he airballs that into the hands of Alex Navas. Beamon. Brandon Parrish, he jacks up the triple, hits the target. Brandon Parrish from the corner. Another assist from George Beamon. Bowman now, Neighbour. Also just managing to keep some fresh air between themselves and the Plymouth Raiders. A little jig from Bowman. Unfortunately, he couldn't finish with that jumper at Sayers. Costello lobs inside to Neighbour. He's got to find his way again around Alex Navas. Banks it in. 2-point game. 4:23 to play. Second quarter of this round 22 game in the BBL tonight. Lots of games going on, and we'll keep across all of those scores as we go on. Foul is called on Will Neighbour. So that's 3 team fouls in the quarter now for the Plymouth Raiders. That is Neighbour's second foul of the game. This will be interesting. Now Paul's playing the card almost like the trump card. Is going with the 2, with the 3 first teamers and then the 2 second teamers. You know, got to rest these people. You got to give them something for the second half. But let's see if they can keep it up, keep playing. Well, we're going to find out. As George Ems feeds into Alex Navas. Oh, what a pass over the top Brandon Parrish can't finish right at the end of the shot clock. He was blocked by Costello. Louis Sayers now can't find a way inside. Bowman, Sayers, Costello dishes it down inside to Zach Wells, and he's not going to miss from there. Drops it in, ties the game up at 36 apiece. 3:40 to play in the second quarter of this ball game. George Ems, Palmer, travelling cool. That was a travel all day and all night. So Harris checks out, Beamon checks back in, and I've got to say it's been a heroic performance from him so far tonight.
Yeah. And so sometimes when you're playing on injury, you don't want to get out for too long because you don't want it to get cold, you don't want it to stiffen up, you just want to, you know, once you're warm sort of scenario.
Yeah.
You know, half time, you know, I don't even want to sit down. I'm just going to keep on moving, keep it warm.
Well, from one big man to another, he fed that well into Wells, but he couldn't finish. So Worcester come up with the ball, and they come once again. Again, it's that man Ems. He seems to be all over the court. Lob inside to Navahas. Beautiful assist to find George Beamon, who drops those two in off the window. Great sight, great vision.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know what the stats are, but I wouldn't be surprised if Navas is up there with the West of them with assists.
Well, again, Plymouth unable to finish. So Worcester come again, and they have a chance to maybe find another couple of points. Plymouth desperate to find a stop here as they head into half-time. George Ems runs that perimeter, get it into Alex Navas again. Great pass inside to find Beamon. This time he can't finish. Neighbour blocks him. They get it to Dylan Costello. He's forced to pull up again. Neighbour can't finish. Wells whistle on the play, and it looks like it's going to be a foul on Ems. So he picks up his second foul of the game. Much to the annoyance of the home crowd, it's a 2-point ball game.
That is, I'm not allowed to say what I think about that call. There was contact. It wasn't anything else. He stood, contact, and went down.
Well, it's Neighbour on the line, and he doesn't make the first of those, and you're going to hear the reaction from the crowd. So, perhaps a little more cynical as a gentleman on my right. He may be sour, but he's got some fizz left.
Yeah, I just, yeah. I know. The thing is, I know the person. He wouldn't do that. That's the thing.
Costello, Louis Sayers finds a lane open in front of him, and he capitalises on that. But Wells knocked that ball out. That ball was heading into the bucket, and Wells, for some reason, found his hand on it. Brandon Parrish puts up the triple, sinks the triple, and all of a sudden Worcester Wolves are out once again to a 5-point lead. Bowman now for the Plymouth Raiders. Costello inside to Wells. Wells travels in that double team. Good defence from Worcester, 1:38 to play, forcing that turnover, and Jarvalainen will check back in for Zach Wells. 1 minute and 38 from half time in the ball game. George Beamon to get us into the front court. Got to shake off the attention of Dylan Costello. Palmer now. Palmer jacks it up from the top of the key. He's wide with that shot. Jarvalainen collects it. Costello now. Costello. Jarvalainen. Pump fake from Costello, drives inside again, can't finish, ball is loose, Beamon picks it up. Hangs up for Worcester to reset. The Plymouth defence locks itself into position. Ems now for Worcester. 8 on the shot clock. They'll get it to Trayvon Palmer. He's left wide open, but he's a long way out. Beamon couldn't hang on to it. Battered away by Bowman. Neighbour puts up the three. Too much on it. Good rebound from Jarvalainen, but he fumbles the ball. Comes off the hand of Dominic Eyes, so that will be a Plymouth Raiders ball from the end line. Dylan Costello The inbound ball gets it to Neighbour. Neighbour puts up that short range two again, doesn't go. Ems comes down with it. Long pass down to Trayvon Palmer. George Beamon off the glass. And suddenly the Worcester Wolves really do find themselves with a little bit of fresh air between themselves and their visitors tonight. Costello has got to find a way around George Ems, and what a game he's having for Worcester Wolves so far tonight. 13 on the shot clock. 1 second differential with the game clock. Here goes Costello, switches on the afterburners, goes off the glass again. Can't finish. 4 seconds to play in the quarter. Beamon jacks up the three. Oh my word! George Beamon! Well, if you had to choose an MVP in the first half of this game,
which is great. So yeah, more of the same for Wolves, and Plymouth want to step up and use their advantage.
Well, feed it straight in to Trayvon Palmer. Ives can't hang on to it. That ball is going to go to a jump ball, and that indeed is the call from the referee. Worcester have the possession arrow, so they will gain possession of the basketball from the end line. And we head in, as you said, Chris, 11-point game. It's a pretty comfortable place for them to be right now.
It is, and that should have been 13. Ives, coming to the basket, should have been ready to catch that basketball.
So Beamon has on the inbound. He calls it back to hand that off. Beamon. Oh, great pass to find Parrish. He jacks up the triple. This time it doesn't go. Ives again can't hold on to it. It came off the leg of Eric Eves. So once again, they reset from the same spot. And Worcester have a chance to go again at the Plymouth Raiders. We always knew this was going to be an edgy encounter, but there are all the ingredients up there for this really to be something quite dramatic down the stretch if the score stays anything like this. Beamon now is carrying a heavily strapped ankle tonight. He jacks up another three, not awkward as it went, and unable to finish. Wells comes down with it. Eric Eves now pull up three from him, but again that looked off as it left his hand, doesn't go, rims out into the hands of Dominic Ives. George Beamon now for the Worcester Wolves. Trayvon Palmer just opts to put up the three, and he sinks it from distance. Trayvon Palmer. And that's an important score to settle the nerves. Worcester Wolves now.
He's been quiet for Wolves. Going into the half, he only had 2 points. He's almost doubled it with that, but
Sayers knocks it down.
Yeah, that's right answer. The thing is that for Wolves, I would have been disappointed. Start with a technical foul, then get possession, and they only came away with 2 points from the whole of that.
Beamon kicks it out to Brandon Parrish.
Someone's come out from the second half.
Dead eye from that corner for Parrish. Well, shooting well from downtown tonight. Wolves will take a little look over those stats as things wear on. Eric Eves, Bowman, Wells, Louis Sayers jacks up the three, got it. Louis Sayers, great servant for the Plymouth Raiders in recent seasons. He's a man now with a ton of BBL experience, so he will punish you. Beamon unable to drop that floater in. Worcester Wolves sit at an 11-point lead in this game. Maybe a long way to go. 7:59 in the third quarter. Bowman into Wells, and Alex Navahas just fumbled that ball. Spins and
there you go.
Defensive.
That's the elbow. Obviously, someone's had a word or something's been said to the referees, and they've been watching that. But I think Wolves, yeah, they've hit those shots, but from an overall point of view, from me, is that it's been one pass offenses. You know what I said about make them play some defense, make them play defense, make them play tough.
Dylan Costello checks in for the Plymouth Raiders. Eric Eves takes a breather. Good performance from him on his debut for his new team. But this man, George Beamon, what a heroic performance from him. Just trying to find his way out of that double team. He gets it to Brandon Parrish. Parrish jacks up for three. Oh my word, this time too much on it. Louis Sayers plucks down that defensive board. And Sayers gets it out to Costello at the top. Will Neighbour. From here. Costello, Sayers, good feed inside. He can't find Zach Wells, and Trayvon Palmer sticks his hand into that passing lane. Palmer dances away along the baseline. Navahas wide open for the triple. And Alex Navas punishes Plymouth from the corner. 14-point game now for the Worcester Wolves. Costello. Wells weaves his way inside, and he's going to go to the line to add the bonus, and Alex Navas picks up his second foul of the game. We did say more muscular defence in this second half.
Yeah, I mean, the annoying thing with that is that it's the and one. If you're going to, you're going to. And he knew he had, so.
Well, Zach Wells is all string. The three-point play. Worcester had an 11-point lead with 6:49 to play in the third quarter of this game. So there's no way out of sight, that's for sure. Pass inside to Ives. Beamon just about managed to hang on to it. Costello did get a finger to it. Beamon this time floats it over the top. This time he hits it. And he hits the net. And he finds the 2 points. And he is going to go to the line to add the bonus. So that's a blocking foul called. And that is Wells' second foul in very quick succession. Came into this third quarter not carrying any. Beamon from the line for the Worcester Wolves sinks that three-point play. And George Beamon leading all scorers with 20 points so far in this game. The man who almost wasn't fit enough to play. Ives, Wells now. Wells dances around. They get it to Beamon. Find him off that pick and roll. Neighbour. Got to get the shot away here. Deep in the shot clock. Almost found that bucket. Rims out. Wolves come up with it. Parrish. Palmer. Palmer stop and pop from the elbow. Doesn't go. Plymouth come again. Dylan Costello dancing his way around Trayvon Palmer, gets it out to Neighbour. Well, thought about the three. To go inside, they kick it out to Sayers. Sayers jacks up the triple. Louis Sayers, this time no good. Brandon Parrish picks it up. Is he going to muscle his way coast to coast? Kicks it out to Ives, jacks up the three. Dominic Ives drains it from downtown. And Worcester just feeling slightly more comfortable on that scoreboard. Gavin Love is looking a very unhappy man in front of the Plymouth bench right now. Bowman is being hustled out of it. They get it to Neighbour. He jacks up the triple. Way too short on that one. Parrish rushes to that long rebound now. George Beamon. Beamon ships it down to Navas. Acres of space for him. It's knocked away, but they carry on with it. Parrish picks it up. 10 on the shot clock now. Winding that clock down, Neighbour. They get it to Brandon Parrish. Goes to slam the ball down. Doesn't go. He's gone down heavy. And he's fouled. And we'll go to the line. But Gavin Love is forced into another timeout.
Yeah. To see a little bit more time used, so therefore there's less defense. The less defense they have to play, the less chance they got picking up fouls. The more they can stay on court, the more they don't have to do. But it's great. I like the way that Wolves smaller players have been smart enough to go at their big men. And look, Zach Wells just standing there, thinking that he can stop them. Has picked up 3 fouls and has now having to sit on the bench.
Well, Brandon Parrish.
Oh, he's not. He's stayed in. Go at it.
Sinks the first. And he sinks the second. All the grace of an Olympic diver. And Brandon Parrish takes a breather. George Ems checks back into the game. And great first half from George Ems. Sayers. Bowman dances his way inside. Too much on that off the glass. And the Trayvon Palmer is there to collect the spoils. Beamon just plucks that away. Jacks up the triple. Oh my word! George Beamon, he is on fire. Absolutely on fire tonight. Good feed inside to Yarber line and left all alone in the post.
Yeah, that's a little bit of miscommunication there. Who was on the back of the zone? Who should have been where?
Lems will be looking to add to his 9-point tally. Dominic Ives, he jacks up the 3. This time doesn't go.
See again, one pass offense.
Worcester back on defence now. Zach Wells, Yarvalainen gets it inside. His neighbour was double teamed. Beamon did well to hold on to it. Oh, and he's kept it in. Gets it off to Trayvon Palmer for the jam. The Worcester Wolves are having a bit of fun out there now. 69 points to 47 with 3:37 to play. They've got to maintain their composure. Plymouth looking to regroup. Neighbour puts it over the top again. Doesn't go, can't finish. Wells can't hold on to it. Ball is fumbled. Navahas has it. They get it to Beamon. Beamon takes us back into the front corner. Here come the Worcester Wolves again. Alex Navahas! Oh my word, this time.
Yeah.
In and out.
Paul's seen enough of this one pass offense. He's saying, come on guys, we're getting the ball back and we're just doing this all the time.
We get it to Louis Sayers. He plucks it, runs the baseline, drops it in, finds another valuable 2 for the Plymouth Raiders. 75, don't forget, depending on your device that you are watching us on here on livebasketball.tv, you do have a multi-screen function, so you can keep a quarter of an eye across all of those games. But of course, you're going to want to stay right here with us at the Worcester Arena as Worcester look to consolidate the lead, the 20-point lead that they built up here over the Plymouth Raiders, really against the odds coming into this game. But we did say it would be set up for quite a finish, and so it's proved. Now Alex Navahas just avoided the trouble. Ives did well to get to it. Ends jacks up the 3, this time too short. And, well, Ives was looking for it, but it was definitely his hand that touched the basketball last. So it will be Louis Sayers to inbound for the Plymouth Raiders from the end line. Yaro was checked into the game for Bowman, who's taking a breather. Sayers, Denzel Lubiaro, Louis Sayers. Sayers is directing the traffic. Neighbour found his range from downtown in that first half, that's for sure. This time, stop and pop from the elbow from Neighbour. Rims out, and nothing dropping for Plymouth at the moment. Here comes Trayvon Palmer again, gets it back to George Beamon. He's looking to create some space. Time, 15 on the shot clock. Beamon gets it back to Ems. Ems at the top. Ems again, good pass to Beamon. He jacks up the 3 this time. Too much on it. Ives can't quite get the tip, and but it did come off Neighbour, so that will be a Wolves ball from the end line. And, in fact, Neighbour and Zach Wells were heading off to the other end of the court. Dominic Ives takes a breather, and George and Brandon Parrish checks back into the game. So attempts to inbound is interrupted on the way in. Almost fumbled by Ubiaro, but couldn't come up with it. Neighbour. There's Ubiaro at the top. Ubiaro dances his way inside. He did well there, drew the contact, found the 2 points. Smart play.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I needed. I think if I was them, the players now, I'd be getting together and saying, right, does everyone know their matchups? Because Ems somehow ended up with Naylor. And that's the worst mismatch on
the planet.
Well, on the court tonight. I won't say on the planet, but.
Well, Ubiaro is all string. And Plymouth really exploiting that mismatch. Now it's Palmer who switches it on, gets it to Parrish, almost fumbles it again. That ball is interrupted. Paul James very unhappy with that. Neighbour, showtime at the other end, and he can't finish yet again. Paul James saying, calm it down and stick to the game plan. George Beamon for Worcester, Trayvon Palmer, Alex Navahas, long cross-court pass to Ems. Thought about the 3, double team, gets it into Navahas, dances inside. Beamon is blocked, Yarvalainen yanks the ball down, kicks it out to Sayers. They're going to want something from this. Yarvalainen collects, no, he commits an offensive foul.
The thing was, what gave that one away was he looked at the player as he dropped the shoulder. He knew he was looking where the player was to drop the shoulder into. He had the open lane. It was easier to score than it was to commit a foul.
Well, we're into the last 50 seconds, and it's George Beamon who gets this next offence underway for the Worcester Wolves. George Ems now. Palmer. Brandon Parrish. Ems is calling for the ball at the top. It's good ball movement from Worcester. Ems. Beautiful dish inside to Beamon off the glass. Brilliant assist from George Ems. Rolls it in and slices it through that defensive wall. Worcester defending for all their worth. Louis Sayers, goodness me! Drains it from downtown, and Plymouth needed that score. That was a big shot. Brandon Parrish just looking to maintain the control of this game. Still, you sense that nervousness in the crowd here, and he is going to go to the line to shoot three. That is the wheels coming off, I think it's fair to say.
That, from a coaching point of view, is right. Okay, get your hand up. 0.2 of a second to go. Get your hand up. Make sure you don't give him a free shot, but don't commit a foul. Don't commit that foul.
Well, George Beamon is all string with the first of those. He leads all scorers with 28 points so far in this game. It's an absolutely heroic performance from George Beamon. He sinks the second. He has a chance to just inch this back out to a 19-point lead heading in to the fourth quarter of the ball game. Doesn't make the third, so stays at 18. Commentators curse, I guess. 0.2 seconds have expired. Coming into this with an 18-point lead coming into this fourth quarter, but they won't be lost in the last week. So Gordon is now checked in for Plymouth. Sayers ships it down to Wells. Wells surely is going to go and weave his way through to find those 2 points. I was going to say Worcester was 17 at the half last week, having held Glasgow to 22. Threw that lead away. Trayvon Palmer jacks up the three. This time it doesn't go. Yarbalainen picks it up.
I guess they haven't listened to him.
So Gordon again feeding the big man inside. Gordon jacks up the three. This time it doesn't go. Great board from Wells, and he's going to go to the line to add that 3-point play. And all of a sudden, Plymouth inching their way back in. Very pensive Paul James on the other side of the court. You can just see the top of your picture. And he really has had to manage the pieces of this chessboard. 9:25 to go in this ball game, but they lead here 73 to 59. Zach Wells to cut this to 13 points, and he does. So 13-point game. It's never over until it's over. Beamon, Navahas, Palmer just stop and go, gets it into Navahas, feed it back out to Ems again. Parrish, Beamon looking to weave his way inside, it's deep in the shot clock. Yarbalainen comes up with it, no points from that offence for the Worcester Wolves. Great pass down to Gordon. Biaro, Gordon, and kickball is the call, I think, off the foot of Trayvon Palmer. So Raiders will have possession from the sideline with 8:53 to play in the fourth quarter. Gordon ships it in to Yarbalainen on the inbounds. Spin two from him. 11-point game. So Plymouth Raiders establishing 7-point run so far in this quarter. Navahas fakes it, kicks it out to Beamon. Parrish, good defensive effort this from Plymouth. Ems, 7 on the shot clock. Beamon goes to drive inside and collects the foul. So that will be a sideline possession. George Ems to inbound for Worcester. Goes to Palmer. Finds his way around Biaro. Navahas. George Ems now at the top. Palmer in the corner, head fake, goes to drive the baseline. That double team is working effectively. Ems jacks up the three, doesn't go this time. Oh, great board from George Beamon. Gets it to Palmer, lane opens up in front of him, kicks it out to Brandon Parrish for three, nails it! Brandon Parrish, well worked 3 points from the Worcester Wolves. Great ball movement, and well, you probably would not have written that with 8 minutes to go, but Gordon takes a breather and Will Neighbour checks back in. So coach Gavin Love has got his 3 big men on the court. Neighbour jacks up the 3, too short this time. Palmer comes up with it. From a Worcester point of view, it's composure. From a Plymouth point of view, you've got to clamp down on defence, which they've done well in this quarter. It's execution. Palmer is the executioner for the Worcester Wolves as he hits that triple.
It's funny. I'm looking over to coach and he's just got that grin on the face saying, well, you made it, but
the rueful smile that Paul James does so well.
It is great shot, but if you would have missed that, you would have got it, because we want to use the clock.
Well, Sayers is there, Neighbour, and still you sense that nervousness in the crowd here. Wells just managing to get under that ball to get it out to Neighbour, jacks up another 3. This time it rims out.
And the thing is that I don't take it away from my guys. Our guys should not be getting these rebounds as easy as they are with the size of the players that are on court.
Well, Palmer jacks up another triple. Oh, he's nailed it again. Trayvon Palmer for Worcester. Coach, and it's back out to a 20-point lead.
Coach, sit down. I'm all right. I've got this.
Neighbour now going over the top of Alex Navahas, doesn't go. No one there to collect that rebound for Plymouth. Worcester left with 3 offensive players around the ball. So Palmer tipped, but it finds George Beamon. Beamon dancing around that perimeter. They get it to Alex Navahas. He jacks up the triple. This time no good. Comes down to the hands of Neighbour. Ravalainen for Plymouth. Hands off to Louis Sayers. Sayers, he goes to run the baseline, double teamed out of it. This time Wells surely is just going to muscle his way inside. Navahas not getting himself into any trouble. Alex Navahas carrying 3 fouls, as is Zach Wells. 6:06 to play. Ems, Beamon. Worcester really dictating the play now in the 4th quarter of this ball game. Palmer. Stop and pop, fade away 2, doesn't go. Here comes Ravalainen again. Ravalainen kicks it out to Louis Sayers, long range 2 attempt, doesn't go, and Wells can't quite hold on to it. Ravalainen collects it. Ubiaro from the top, hits the triple. 3 important points for the Plymouth Raiders, and a timeout is called. Worcester Wolves.
Now that's going to be 2 of them. I've got 1 foul. Finish on 3, finish on 4. But make sure that Wolves know that they've earned this basketball game and been in a basketball game.
Well, Zach Noble has checked in now for the Worcester Wolves. So, as we said, all the players, bench players, getting some good minutes tonight in this BBL game. Paul James really has got to play very much a strategic game now. George Beamon again jacks up another 3. This time doesn't go. Sayers comes down with the ball. Sayers just loses his grip on the basketball. Ravalainen now. Ravalainen almost travelled with it. Gets it to Zach Wells. He's a big presence in that position. Muscles his way inside. Draws the foul. Good work. Used his body well there, Zach Wells.
Yeah.
5:05 to play in the 4th quarter. Zach Wells on the line just to chip away now at that lead. It's a 15-point lead. Nothing but string with the first of those. So Zach Wells with the second. The second one rattles its way inside, so just cuts that lead down to 13. Trayvon Palmer triple teamed, and Ravalainen whistled for the foul in that. was, well, again, it's one of those calls, isn't it? It's a split-second call in a situation like that.
The thing is that with that, you don't need. You've got 3 people around it. You don't need.
So
you don't need to reach in. You just need to let the player throw the ball out, because the pressure is the thing that's going to create that.
Again, it's George Beamon. Such an athletic player, George Beamon. You say he's coming with a heavily strapped ankle into this game. He's poured the points in for Worcester tonight. Brandon Parrish now. Get it to Beamon in the corner, puts up the 3. This time it doesn't go. Yarber can't quite hang on to it. Parrish does pick it up, and a foul is called. And that is going to be, once again, I think, on Yarber. So he's now on 3 fouls. With 4:38 to play, that's 3 team fouls now for the Plymouth Raiders. So certainly ramping up in this second half. Navahas, great dish inside of Palmer. What a finish from Trayvon Palmer.
Hang on that.
And he is going to go to the line to add the bonus for the 3-point play. Well, what a heroic performance from Worcester so far tonight.
Another assist from Navahas.
So, Trayvon Palmer, 8 assists now from Alex Navahas so far in the game. As you say, Chris, it's one of those stats. Of course, Avisi Dusha playing for Albania in the World Cup qualifiers, so not available for the team tonight. And he was dishing out, leading the league, I think, in assists, or certainly first or second. Meanwhile, Wells off the glass for the Plymouth Raiders. So Navahas very much stepping into that role. Parrish now for Worcester into the last 4 minutes almost of this ball game. 4:09 to play. Get it back to Beamon at the top. Parrish, neighbour just backs it away. He's double teamed, just come off his foot. He did well there to avoid the backcourt violation. Really no need to do anything, and an unsportsmanlike foul is called on George Beamon.
No, it's Palmer.
It was called it on Palmer, right? So that change complexion of what is happening here. Suddenly Plymouth Raiders can bring us back to a 10-point game with 3:56 to play, and it puts Ubiaro on the line for Plymouth. So it's 2 shots and possession. Denzel Ubiaro puts up the first, and he doesn't make it. And those are the opportunities. Sometimes they're just not with you. So, chance for the second, and of course possession of the basketball after this shot, and he doesn't make either of those 2. And you kind of sense that's the story of Plymouth's game tonight in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
You sometimes get the rub of the green, as they say, and sometimes you just don't.
Sometimes, but the thing is that you earn it. And tonight Wolves are earning it, and Plymouth just don't have an answer to it. It's for me, it's
well, Ubiaro redeemed himself with that triple. So Worcester now going to maintain their composure down the stretch. 3:36 to play. Palmer head fake, dancing around the perimeter. Beamon gets himself back out. Looking to find a way inside, and Neighbour, well, that's going to put them in the bonus as well with 3:26 to play. Neighbour picks up his 4th foul of the game for the Plymouth Raiders. The lead is 9.
And the thing is that Neighbour could have picked up another one for simulation down there when he was remonstrating with the referee. So, yeah.
So, his life for 2 for George Beamon, and he's got to earn these the old-fashioned way. Doesn't make the first, so
lids on the basket both ends.
Absolutely, from not working from the stripe so far. The lead is only 9. It is paper thin, that lead, really, in the grand scheme of things, with 3:26 to play. Beamon just extends that to 10 points, and the clock is ticking away. And I've got to say, I think this season it'll be one of the longest 3 minutes that Paul James has experienced. That was a good lob inside. Yarber now looks to to muscle his way inside. Offensive foul again from Jarmalainen, and that is his 4th foul. So that will send Worcester once again
possession.
It's the one occasion where you don't get the shots at the bonus. But Beamon might be lost on Plymouth. They've got to maintain their discipline now in defence. No fouls to give for them. Noble, good pass from Noble. A kick it out to Beamon. Oh my goodness me, George Beamon. That was a 3 shredded wheat breakfast he had this morning. That is for certain. Will Neighbour now for the Plymouth Raiders. Jarmalainen opts not to go inside. They go to Wells. Sayers, Neighbour. Neighbour, good dish inside, finds Wells. Wells finds 2. And he is going to go to the line to add the bonus once again. 2:41 to play. They're long, long minutes. Paul James has used 2 timeouts so far in this game. Gavin Love has only used 1, and it's a 9-point game.
Yep.
An 11-point game, I beg your pardon. My maths is all over the place tonight, dear viewer. So, Wells, again, the lid's on the bucket from the charity stripe for both teams. They've got to get this into the front court. They made a bit of a mess of that, Worcester. Louis Sayers has the ball. Lubiaro now, can he do something from the top? Head fake, goes to drive inside, puts in that 2. Jumper, and those are important points. 9-point game, 2:21 to play. Worcester really need to dictate the pace of this game if they're going to just stretch this now down to the finish. 2:11. George Beamon, as you said, Chris, good shot selection is critical in a situation like this. Great ball movement. Trayvon Palmer, my goodness! Palmer pulls the trigger, hits the target. And Worcester looking good here. Ubiaro puts up the 3, doesn't go. Navahas comes up with the ball. Alex Navahas hands off to Palmer. He's tripped and
technical foul, flopping. Naylor's gone.
So Will Neighbour has fouled out of the game for the Plymouth Raiders with 1 minute and 47 seconds to play. Trayvon Palmer is back on the line.
The only thing I'll say is consistency is there.
Well, we'll see if there's consistency from the line, because it's been sadly lacking in this 4th quarter for both of these teams. 12-point lead for Worcester. Trayvon Palmer just gets that kind home court bounce this time. So it's a 13-point game with 1:47 to play. 5 team fouls for the Plymouth Raiders, 4 for the Worcester Wolves. Beamon now for Worcester. Long cross-court pass finds Brandon Parrish. Doesn't go. Too long. Comes off the back of the ring.
Too early as well.
Long cross-court pass to Sayers is interrupted by Trayvon Palmer. And but he's going for everything. He's going for absolutely everything. Sayers now on the inbounds of the Plymouth Raiders. Bowman craft from here, gets it to Jarmalainen into Wells. Wells dancing around, great, I was going to say great finish, didn't go unfortunately, just not enough putting on it, but Beamon now.
Wolves now need a 23.5-second offence.
Well, they're not going to get it this time. Bowman strips it away, lays it in, and timeout called. Worcester Wolves.
Alex.
So 93 points to 82, 109 to play. We said that this was going to be a chess game, and it's proved. Demi Ogunbona has checked in for Zach Wells for the Worcester Wolves. They're going to need some of that energy from him. George Beamon, just the jab step to try and just create some space and slow things down. Navahas Logan Boner now gets it into Beamon. Good dish to Beamon. Logan Boner can't hold on to it, but it's gone out of play, and that will be a Worcester Wolves ball from the end line. The Wolves bench on their feet. And Gavin Love considering what his options might be. There are 2 timeouts still to call, so he has some possession advantage still to play, but he is in the bonus. Now, Alex Navahas, weaves his way inside and underneath. No basket though, travel is the call. Waving his finger, but referee. Well, the call is the call. 32 seconds to play. We're in the last 30 seconds. Pubiara, a great finish from him at pace. And it's a 9-point ball game. George Beamon once again for Worcester gets it to Alex Navahas. Navahas is dispossessed. Somehow gets hold of the ball, ships it again to George Beamon from the floor. 11 on the shot clock, 12 on the game clock. Beamon is looking to find a way inside, wants to finish with a flourish probably. Gets it to Trayvon Palmer, he jacks up the triple. No good this time, but Parrish is there to add the 2 points. Off the glass, and well, it looks like that's all she wrote here at the Worcester Arena, and a standing ovation from the crowd here, and you've got to say that